Excuse me. Set? Yep. I'm going to call the meeting to order. It's a regular meeting of the Easton Housing Authority, Tuesday, January 9th. Roll call. Commissioner Tebow. Here. Commissioner Chris Ann Sheedy.
Here.
Commissioner Burrows.
Here.
And Commissioner Dennis Sheedy is present. This is a live in-person meeting that is being recorded by ECAT, and the Executive Director, Kathy Steiger, is also present. Agenda item number 1, December warrant in the amount of $250,115.26.
I'll make a motion. We approve the warrant for December 2023 in the amount of $250,115.26.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Burrows, a second by Commissioner Chris Ann Sheedy. Any discussion? Seems like the invoices for the treatment plant have gone way down over the years.
Except for the pumping, yeah, we're not using as many chemicals in there. They said that happens as it gets acclimated more to it, but then something will also counteract it occasionally, so.
And I noted that there's some, here, written notes here, is that just you updating the
On the
document description on the...
on the Hoy?
There was voice, there was January payment on that.
Yeah, just because it was the end of December, that you'll see AMP is on there twice, but
Okay.
that's the January payment because of the
Okay.
first of the month being the holiday and just trying to get it all in on time.
Excellent, okay, thank you.
It is me, sorry. Go away. Let me turn that way down.
Any other questions or concerns?
Yeah, I have a question on the Section 8 payments. Any chance we can have like really basic information, like if there's more than one unit being rented at a facility, or if it's what bedroom size it is? So it's like, when you look down the list, you've got some things that are ranging up in the 2,000s, you got things that are in the 597s, so it's kind of like, is there more than one unit in that location, or is it a 4-bedroom as opposed to a 1-bedroom?
Sometimes it's more than one tenant too.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. If there's more than one unit being leased in one place, which might substantiate the reason why we're paying $2,500.
Well, we know on our end, but what I print out for the board, because what we get
Yeah, you
has
just
all
shown
the
us the
tenants'
totals.
names. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, no, we can't have the names, I understand that, but I just didn't know.
I can see if there's a report available to
Yeah.
do something like that.
If there's a report, don't obviously jump through hoops or try to recreate anything.
The old software gave us the addresses, which I found to be informative. In fact, I think we found one issue where we were overpaying for some of the properties based upon the addresses.
Yeah, like I can tell you right off the bat, he's Mansfield Village Depot, that's more than one resident, yeah. So, yeah, let me see what I can get a more detailed report.
And some of them, yeah, are just obvious, but it's just like,
Well, the rents have gone up significantly.
yeah.
It's, I know a lot of people, a lot of income's not includable in some cases.
Yep, whatever you can do.
Yeah,
But like I said,
absolutely.
don't go crazy about it.
Mhm.
Oh, and I was wondering how come we were using that audit out at Northeastern Savings for more purchases than usual?
Because we can get a lot of the items, especially for maintenance and whatnot, cheaper on Amazon. So we buy the stuff on Amazon, we have an account, it's a tax exempt account, and we can get it next day. That's the other part. Like when it comes, a lot of times it's the tractor stuff that we
Yeah,
get.
but why do you have to go through this account? Why can't you just use your normal, your regular revolving account?
It's just the account we have set up because it's a debit card. The other
Oh.
accounts aren't debit cards.
So this has a debit, all
Yeah,
right.
this has a debit card that we can attach to it and use like a credit card.
Yep, okay. That's it for me, sorry.
Any other questions or concerns regarding the December warrant? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 2, approval of the November 14th, 2023 meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tebow, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 3, approval of the December 12th, 2023 meeting minutes.
Make a motion that we approve the December 12th, 2023 meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Chrisanne Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any discussion concerning the December 12th minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 4, excuse me, November 2023 financial statements.
Make a motion we accept and place on file.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Burrows, a second by Commissioner Chrisanne Sheedy. Any discussion?
I didn't see anything exceptional here. Kathy, do you have anything you'd like to point out on?
No, just the, I know we're significantly over on the sundry, but again, that had to do with the software conversion. That's predominantly what that cost is in there, the new software. And we're over on contract costs, pretty much due to the pumping with sewers and the wastewater treatment.
But we're still in positive for the year.
Yes, we certainly are.
Thank you.
And that pumping's not just here, right? Channel Way had some issues, didn't they?
Yeah, they do. No, that was just the annual maintenance for the most part. Sometimes we get on there, but this is predominantly what the big bills are coming from, because when they come in, they usually have 3 18-wheelers that they have to, and it's an all-day event. Since we put in that new rake, they put a rake in the system, it seems to be helping significantly, because an aqua point can clean out the rake before it gets to the chambers.
There were at one time, I should probably bring it up, complaints about the odors from it. Is that still an issue, or?
Occasionally,
I
you
haven't
end
heard
up with
anything.
any type of, it was never really, mostly in the summertime, certain occasions, not too often. Once in a while you'll get some. Not very often, though. The chemicals kind of tame all that.
Good. Any other comments or questions regarding the November 2023 financial statements? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 5, contract for financial assistance in the amount of $22,000.
I will make a motion that we approve the contract for financial assistance in the amount of $22,000 and authorize the chair to sign that contract.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Chrisanne Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any discussion?
Just what is it, the $22,000 earmark? What is it?
Very good question. Nobody seemed to know. Ultimately, it is money from one of the senators or a rep, somebody, they didn't tell me who, allocated this funding for us for heating and ventilation. So I met with the RCAP this morning. We think we're gonna try to put some air source heat pumps in this community room and a heat system in the maintenance garage
Excellent, okay.
to help with the equipment, especially like in the snow that we had the other day. The equipment, it freezes up, they come in the morning, they have to use hot water to defrost the equipment to get it moving again. So it'd be good to do that, and we're gonna try to put a project together for that.
And they're gonna get AC too, right? Out there?
No, they don't need the AC in the garage.
Yeah.
They just need heat for the equipment mostly. They have AC in the shop. We
Oh,
do,
all right,
yeah.
that's what I meant, all right, so the shop.
No, and we thought in here it would be beneficial. It shouldn't be too big of a job because if we take off the baseboard heats off the circuit, there's room on the board to put in the air source heat pump. So,
Probably need, what, 3 or 4?
probably need 4 in this room. Yeah, because 2 in here and probably 2 out there. And then we get rid of the AC, which is another, that's a big amp all by itself right there, so. And actually, they have my name on here, so the chair doesn't need to sign this.
Oh, okay.
Usually they have it as the chair, maybe it's a dollar threshold, I don't know. Even when I
Sorry,
called the
you're not
department, they didn't
authorized
know.
any
They
longer.
didn't get back to me.
So I authorize the executive director to sign that contract.
Thank you.
Any other discussion concerning the contract for financial assistance? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 6, personnel policy update and questions.
Yeah, I wrote all over mine.
Can we ban her from the next meeting? I've been working with Michelle Randazzo. She's reviewing a lot of the policies. There's a few things we didn't have in our personnel policy that we need to have is the affirmative action, privacy policies. She's currently reviewing our overtime policy, the on-call policy, social media, domestic violence, because they should all be incorporated into the personnel policy. And the personnel policy we have is probably from 2004.
Is she including sexual harassment, or do you have one?
That's in there already. We do
Okay.
have it, but she's updating everything.
How about progressive discipline?
She did not address that.
Something needs to be, either the step-by-step process or a termination policy, I'm not
We
even
have
sure.
one, you know, the 1, 2, 3, basically 3 strikes you're out type policy. I'll have her review that too. We've been reviewing it. I mean, there's a lot of notes on it. But before I presented it to the board, she wanted me to reach out and particularly touch on these points that she had asked about, and get the board's opinions on how they would like to see that, because then what will happen is we'll incorporate everything into a draft. She'll attend the next meeting and address any other concerns going forward.
Get a lot of steps or coverage for part-time employees. 'cause-
Yes, because
Okay,
it's very vague what we have right now.
yeah.
Very. FMLA, we don't have unions, that's even in our policy, why I don't know. We don't need that, because currently we don't have unions. We don't need FMLA because we have under 50 employees,
Yep.
I'm not sure what it is. Performance evaluations, right in there it says annually. Do we need to do that annually? I'll be honest, I don't do it annually with staff. I talk to staff on a regular basis, each and every one of them. If there's an issue, we address it right then and there. I should be doing them, but I would prefer biannual. We don't do my evaluations either. How the board would like to see that written into the policy.
Yeah, I'm fine with biannual, that's why I'm just expressing my opinion. I think that good evaluations are done on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And that most evaluation documents are simply check-off points that people chisel away at. Can't think of the word, but, you know,
Yeah.
just get through to get through. But we should have something in the file if someone is performing above expectations or below expectations. That's just my opinion. I don't know if anybody else has an opinion on it.
Biannually is fine if everything's going beautifully, which it tends to, but when it's not going well and things happen in that off year and you don't have that to go back to for any kind of legal purposes that might be coming up based on performance, sometimes you are ending up without that resource to use. And if the last one was all good and then things have happened, even if you're having conversations, unless you're documenting what you're having a conversation about, you really don't have a lot to fall back on.
For the record, I do document personally, I do.
But
We
do
have
they
had
sign it?
Huh?
Do they sign it?
No, they're aware. I can have them sign it. Actually, yes, I did.
Okay.
She didn't see a problem with it, especially with the size staff that this agency has. She thinks a biannual is fine. And again, if you have progressive discipline, that's your documentation as you're going along.
Yeah, but progressive discipline has very specific steps. And it's not just, the evals kind of build into the progressive discipline. But I was even thinking that progressive discipline these days is not even the,
I think that's why she didn't touch on it.
yeah, I think there's better things out there that they're using or finding more effective. So I wouldn't mind having that looked at as well, if she can add that to her list of fun chores. But once again, I'm speaking, so obviously open to everyone.
So you're saying because the staff is small, you would know of a problem and be able to address it?
Yes,
With-
absolutely. And I do talk to staff, every one of them, every day. And, you know, in situations I talk to them. I haven't had any. Mostly it's just to say thank you to them. Typically, that's the conversation.
Yeah. I'm fine with the biannual.
Someone's singing.
In the laundry, probably. They got both washing machines.
So right now, we don't pay any paid personal days? They don't have any?
None.
That's very unusual for our industry.
I think I brought this up before too. Yeah, the staff does not have any personal days.
Do they, what's the schedule? Just, can you summarize the schedule for vacation? Is
Oh.
it 2 weeks to 3 years or 4 years?
Yes, we have, that's all written down. I don't have to.
And what's the maximum?
5 weeks.
5 weeks, so that's not about, that's.
Right. Well, part of why Michelle had recommended it is, for instance, one of the holidays is Good Friday. She said, you can't, I mean, that's strictly a religious holiday. And I said, well, Christmas is, she goes, but many different religions practice Christmas. Good Friday is typically one, so you
I
can't.
disagree with her.
I understand, I kind of was, but she said, I mean, that's totally
But
a
do we do
board
it,
call.
is it brought to the board and we grant it every year, or is it just?
No, it's already on their half-day Fridays, but we already have half-day Fridays, so the staff doesn't come in on Fridays, on Good Friday.
And it's in the personnel policy?
Mhm.
Okay. As I said, I would disagree with her, but,
I did. Gee. I mean, totally, again, the personnel policy, she can offer suggestions. Ultimately, it's gonna be the board's decision, what they want in it, what they don't want in it.
So what are you looking for personal days? 1 day, 2 days?
I thought 2 would be, I'll be honest, any agency I worked at when I wasn't a director, we always had 3.
so you're asking to strike Good Friday and add 2 days,
2 personal days.
personal days? I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that too. Considering Good Friday's gonna be a day off anyway.
What happens when those personal days are not used?
They lose them. Personal days have to be used or you lose them.
And I think it just needs to be a caveat that it cannot be added on to extend a vacation. Some people just think, oh, I'm gonna add my 2 days and get, you know.
And they just use more vacation days.
Well, that's fine, they should use
Yeah.
their vacation
Right.
days, because then they're gonna be like, I used all my personal days and now I need to take one.
Yeah, staff here has a lot of time too.
At the
Currently.
moment.
Currently, right, correct, currently. I have always, and I've said this to staff, if you need a mental health day once in a while, just say, you know, I need to take a day off, I'm not feeling well, and I'm fine with that, nobody abuses it.
That's their sick time, though,
You know,
technically.
the amount of sick time people have, nobody uses it here. I know currently, but,
Yeah, but that's when
Yeah.
you get down to, you leave the policy when person is, you know, banging in every Friday, banging in every Monday, and now you're into progressive discipline. Or whatever you wanna call it.
yeah,
So, I mean, I don't have a problem with taking the day off, adding the two, and then we hire a competent executive director who has to deal with personnel issues.
right, yeah.
Do you have any specifics as to how people request for vacation? Is it
Yeah,
by
they all
seniority?
they all request it in writing, when they're taking it off, in advance, and I sign off on it.
And you don't like do it all at the beginning of the year, because some places
What do you mean?
by seniority, you know, at the beginning of the year, the senior person says, I'm taking these 2
Oh,
weeks in
no.
July type of thing.
No, they take it as it comes up. With a small staff, you can do that, and typically the guys.
Trust me, I had a small
yeah.
staff. It didn't happen that way.
Currently, it is here, and senior staff ideally would have precedence over vacation time if it ran into somebody else's. It just, that would be the way it would go.
You would think,
Yeah.
until it doesn't.
Mhm.
So, no, I was just wondering if you had some sort of a system.
Yeah, they usually, the guys have been very good. Ideally, that's really where the nitty gritty comes down to, is the maintenance staff. And they're very good with switching off holidays. I have never once, at least the current staff, had to get involved. They switch off, they're like, oh, I can't do you mind? And
Trust me, when it works, it's a
great.
beautiful thing. When
I'll
it
take it.
doesn't work, that's when it gets ugly. And I've seen it.
Mhm. But anything, even anything you have in writing isn't necessarily gonna guarantee it's gonna go smoothly.
No, but sometimes it kind of heads off a few of the issues, but
Yeah.
that's fine.
All right, and jury duty, what is the question there is?
How long, for instance, if somebody got picked for a trial, how long do we pay that person? It doesn't say. Do we pay that person? Is it just, you know, jury duty the first day you go in, you don't get paid. You get picked for a trial though, you do get paid, is it $50 a day?
I think it's, yeah.
So do we need to necessarily pay that? It's very vague. She just said she's seen issues and it might be good to just tighten it up. What?
And I was on grand jury duty, and that was days and months.
So what happened, and can I ask you, what happened, if you don't mind sharing? Or did the authority pay you? They did pay you.
Because I could actually, I could bring my phone in, so they could contact
Okay.
me, and I did go into work after my grand jury commitment was done for the day. So,
What I've seen for the most part is that it just simply says jury duty,
Yeah,
and if they are paid, they are to give that money to the housing authority.
the $50, they give it back.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. So we would pay them, what if they wound up on a month trial?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know, I mean, I think it's our duty to allow our staff to serve that duty without
Agree.
losing their house. I mean, I know a lot of people go through some terrible problems serving on juries. My wife served on a murder trial for 10 days.
My husband as well.
Yeah, so I
And he
mean,
was an iron worker, so he got
yeah.
nothing. Yeah, and it was
So-
tough.
But again, it's not usual. Usually
Yeah.
you go in, you do your one day, you're gone.
So then we pay the whole time, and if they're issued money, they have to pay that money back to the housing authority.
sounds reasonable.
Okay.
And travel authorization is on here.
I've never asked. I
You
know,
should have.
huh?
It's always listed in your budget. It says very specifically going to Seacrest.
It has a dollar.
Says it right in the
Okay.
budget.
Okay, so that's,
So you bring it to
so
the
that's the
board,
approval.
and we approve it, and I would say that if you were going to do something else that was above and beyond that budget,
Mhm.
that you would come to us.
That's,
Right, I mean, I was very surprised when I came here and I saw Easton, that it said Seacrest and Narrow Conferences,
Mhm.
$800.
Yes. Yep. Some people, some directors bring it to their board for approval, and that's just, I mean, I'm not much to go to the items, and I think you all know which ones I go to, and, but
No,
that
let's say
being said,
something
going
came up
down the
on
road.
Section 8, and it was training, and it was gonna be in Chicago.
Mhm.
I think we should bring that to the, so
Right,
out-of-state
okay.
travel. to-
Out of state, okay,
Yeah, out of state and over a certain limit,
so I
maybe.
can't go to Mohegan, is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
You can
okay.
go there anytime you want.
Just not on
Put
this
a
time.
vacation day in and go.
Could use a personal day for that.
She doesn't have them yet.
Okay, so any out-of-state travel, that's how,
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, you're on some
Yeah.
now boards, right? Wait, no, I thought you were.
Samita.
Samita, I say
And
Mike.
that's all in-state, so, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I haven't gone to anything other than Seacrest.
But once again, this is potentially not gonna get touched again for years.
Correct.
And there's gonna be, with any good possibility, there'll be somebody else coming along at some point in the not so distant future. So we need to kind of spell these things out now.
More than 4 years. What do I got left? 3 years.
So yeah, I just want to put stuff in here so that we're not like, suddenly
Yeah.
all this stuff has changed
Mhm.
because everybody's coming and going and now we have issues.
Well, these are things that she pulled out of the policy. Now granted, she's worked on a lot of these now, and some of the bigger agencies that really, that there's stuff that just doesn't pertain to us necessarily, but, these were things she thought it would be safe to address and just put it in writing.
Yeah. No, they're definitely good questions and they should be, we definitely need to address them, so we don't have issues going
Okay.
forward. For whoever the new board members are. And you have the staff sign a confidentiality and privacy policy?
Yeah, when they start employment, and they all, I reiterate that often. Especially in the relationship with our Meals on Wheels and our maintenance super. I mean, I don't address it with the Meals on Wheels person, but the maintenance super is fully aware in particular.
Yeah, I found it wasn't bad on occasion to kind of like either revisit it
Yep.
at evaluations. Have them
I do.
sign a new one.
Pretty regularly, and they all know. Yeah. I'm
Do you do a
pretty
code of
distinctive.
conduct?
Yes, there is a code of conduct. That was done on employment as well.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of social media, code of conduct, how to call into the office, and they sign off on all of that, and the personnel policy when they're hired. And this will be a perfect opportunity to just sit down with them, revisit everything, have Michelle come in and touch on a few things, and
And they sign that they received and reviewed it.
Correct. yes.
All right, I think that takes us care of personnel policy update. You don't need anything on that, right? These are
No, just want to get your ideas, we'll incorporate it, and then, again, if there's things,
Let's-
as soon as we get it together, I'll get it out, we can review it in February, and then revisit it in March if need be.
Okay.
That's not what the template you're using, I've worked on that, it's comprehensive.
Yes, that's why I was like, I did it a few times, I said, yeah, no, I can't do this, I need an attorney.
Yeah, there's way too much stuff
Yeah.
in there these days that you
Yeah.
gotta
But you
put
need to
in
have
properly.
it, and today's thing, you do need to have it.
Not just have it, but it's gotta be done right or else
Yeah.
you're hung.
Yes, correct.
All right, any other questions? Anyone else have any concerns regarding the personnel policy update? Hearing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 7, proposed maintenance charge policy. And this is another one that hasn't been updated forever.
Forever, yeah, it's been a long time. I did look online at a few of the agencies just to see what other agencies were using. In particular, Taunton had theirs online, Norwood had theirs online, Chelsea had it online, a lot of agencies I had trouble finding. When we have a lockout, for instance, the first lockout, traditionally we won't charge, but if you have the repeat offenders, we charge $20 after hours for a lockout, and it's been that way for quite a while, I guess. Ultimately, it costs the Housing Authority $42 for a lockout. So I think it would be justified and might deter people from locking out on a regular basis to say, you know, it would be the maintenance cost, and I find that's what a lot of agencies are doing.
Now, the $42, is that 1 hour's overtime?
That's more, an hour, time and a half
Time and
of
a
the
half.
lowest salary paid to a maintenance person.
For 1 hour. Now,
Custodian.
do they get paid 1 hour, or do they have like a 2-hour
They get a
minimum?
2-hour minimum.
So would you charge the resident the 2 hours, or just the 1 hour?
I would just charge them the time and a half of the 1 hour. I mean, that's up to the board, it's just,
I would agree with that.
The only thing being is that the rates change every year. So the
Yes.
amount's gonna change every year.
this is the current run, and it's going to change in April,
Which
yeah.
I think a flat fee is just easier for whoever's dealing with the accounting of it or trying to keep. you know.
Agreed, yep,
And it's just, you know, then the tenants know too that it's whatever it is, you know, you could review it every 2 years or 3 years and change
Yeah.
it, but
mm-hmm.
that's my only thought about that. I know we used to charge 35. Flat fee.
Yeah, so, I mean, what would, reasonable, 40, 50? I don't know. I mean, the rates are, that's the lowest rate right now, which is the custodian rate, which is the $27.49.
And you obviously keep track of how many times they've.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, we know, because it goes into the system,
Yeah.
and the guys know.
I wouldn't want it to see it go over $40, I
Okay.
think, for
Okay.
people with the income. That's a lot of money.
And then keys, obviously, keys have been $2 forever. I notice everybody else seems to charge $5 for the keys. Our guys cut the keys, make the keys, deliver the keys to the resident.
Yeah, $2 is pretty darn cheap,
Mhm.
so. In hopes of maybe making people a little more aware of
Yeah,
their keys. Up in the first paragraph there where it's residents shall be charged for repairs, that neglect, accident, and abuse just seemed kind of vague to me, and I'm just like, who's making those decisions and kind of what's going into that decision? So I just didn't know if there was anything we could put in there.
ultimately what would happen is, for instance, we had a call for a broken window. A son in the unit broke a window. Maintenance had to go out after hours and do that. So what we did was we charged the tenant for the pane of glass that needed to be replaced. And they full well knew that this was happening, and the time for the maintenance guys during normal business hours. We had 2 guys out there, we charged 1 hour of time plus the pane of glass to replace that. It's not too often we have any of this. Truthfully, we just typically fix
And
things.
this is subject to the grievance process, correct?
It is, correct.
So I agree with Chris, these things are so subjective. I'll give you the accident, right? So a person falls out of their wheelchair and grabs onto the sink and rips it off the wall.
That
That's
would
an
be-
accident.
Yeah, yep.
But you wouldn't
So,
charge them, right?
no, I would not.
Neither would I.
But ultimately, what it would be is maintenance would come to me, we'd have the discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
It was really,
the broken window, that was an accident. It wasn't done on purpose, but still.
but, I mean,
yeah.
so it's a broken window. It was an accident because I allow my kids to play baseball in my apartment.
Can't
Okay.
have that repeat.
That's a little different, right?
Yeah.
You know, so again, it's completely, it is subjective.
Mhm.
Residents have the ability to challenge us
Mhm.
and say, no, I want to bring this to grievance. I don't think I should be charged for this. I don't think that the housing authority has an impetus to charge because it hurts you. Any dollar you collect, you lose in subsidy.
Mhm.
So it just, but I do think you should have,
Sometimes
oh,
it deters though.
What's
Sometimes I feel that it deters.
that's what you use it
Yeah.
for, deterrent. It's not a
Right.
financial
Yeah.
incentive, it's a deterrent.
Mhm.
The resident who is constantly locking themselves out, and that might be something that the resident service coordinator can help them with.
Painting the unit without permission, we
Oh,
find
that's
it
a
on
different-
inspection.
It's a different story altogether, yeah.
Taking a wall down in the unit, we find it on inspection.
Changing locks.
New kitchen cabinets, new vanity in the bathroom, find it on inspection. Well, what's the cost to
New
bring that
floors, new
unit back?
doors, new,
Yeah, yeah. What's the cost to the authority to bring that back once that person vacates? And we've had that happen a couple times.
But I don't have a problem approving this, given the fact that it is such the law on it's pretty good, the grievance procedures are very good, they can go to HLC if they want after that.
Mhm.
So there's lots of outs, so we have to be careful with it. I have confidence in you, and hopefully, if I'm still around with your predecessor, I hear some talking going on. You're successful, but I have no problem with it.
I don't know, Kathy, if you might want to consider changing residents shall be charged to residents may be charged.
Sure.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Thank you, Dennis.
Yep.
Any other concerns or discussion regarding maintenance charges?
I just, when we get to emergency maintenance service request procedure, at any time, I was thinking we might want to state very clearly after hours, nights, weekends, holidays, kind of like, and that, and I'm assuming the number
It's the
goes to
number,
the.
it's the same during office hours or after office hours. The phone numbers are the same no matter what.
But it's an answering service that picks up
No,
after
It
hours.
goes to the guys.
Oh, okay.
If call forward, we change it every Wednesday night to the guy on call and it goes right to his phone.
Yeah, we did that for many years and
Yeah.
we finally got a service.
We don't get too many people, that's why we can do that this way. And the guys are good about it, so.
And then adding on to what is considered an emergency,
Those are just examples.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is this because the state has a list that it does put out there that you have to,
yeah, we have everything on it. On the other one, we just added fire because we didn't have fire on ours. And refrigerator, I don't think we had the refrigerator not working. The current one was the one on the back.
yeah, I'm just thinking the bathroom, kitchen, sink, and tub if they're clogged. So not just if the toilet, bath, kitchen, sink, and tub. So, I think all of
Tub is
those need,
clogged, toilet is clogged.
toilet, the bathroom sink, the kitchen sink, and the tub. If any of those are clogged,
Clogged.
they should at least make somebody aware of it and they can determine
Well, we
if
have kitchen sink clogged, tub is clogged, toilet is clogged.
bathroom sink's not on there. And then, yeah, if there's no
Kitchen or
electricity,
bathroom, it's on there.
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's
Well,
leaking,
no
not
electricity,
clogged.
a lot of times, they can't call us. If we don't have electricity, the phones die.
Well, a
So
lot of people have cell phones these days.
they still can't call into us. They can't, the office won't.
Phones are dead in here.
If the authority does not have power, we don't have, it's rare because all our lines are underground. If for some reason we don't have power, we're not gonna get a call. But the fire station's aware of that and police are aware of that.
And they call,
We haven't had that
who's on
happen.
call?
Yes, they should. They have a list, but you know how that goes sometimes. Yeah, the phone will not call out. People can't call in if there's no power and it won't call out.
Is that something the generator can pick up, or
Good question.
And
is
the
that
other thing is-
is it Comcast you use for your phone lines?
Comcast, yeah,
Or is it their issue? I don't know.
probably.
And yeah, I get it if all the power's out, but sometimes it's just a building for some bizarre reason. So if the power's out, they might wanna just double check
Yeah,
that, it's, is if it's just a building, then there might be something that can be fixed, and we're not just waiting on National Grid. And if there's a broken door, I think, any kind of like a broken door or a broken lock for
Broken
security
security
purposes.
door?
Yeah. And under the keys and locks,
Mhm.
must be provided if it's domestic abuse. So-
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have, oh yeah,
I thought
and
it said that.
no charges will be incurred if it's a domestic situation, yeah,
It sa-
Absolutely.
It says that here, doesn't it?
yeah. Yeah, and then there will be no charges due to that.
Yeah, due to domestic violence, these charges will not be incurred.
Okay.
So we'll add the broken security door, bathroom sink clog, power outages. In May, shall will be May.
And we no longer can do any kind of a trash pickup if anybody's getting rid of a bunch of junk, but,
No, they used to, but we get charged. And the dumpster guys have caught stuff in there before, and we've had to find ways to get rid of it. So every once in a while, you'll find a pile out back, and we've got to try to find a salvage guy to come and get it.
so, is it Republic that you have? Who do you have?
Yes, we have Republic now.
So they won't send a truck out
And
to get
nobody
a
will take
load?
mattresses at all.
Yeah, not mattresses, but even just if somebody's getting rid of a recliner or a couch, and they try and stuff it in the dumpster. But, or if you get an apartment that's being emptied out because it's vacant. It's like, who you calling them? I don't know, I'm just,
My problem with that is, then you get you guys going up there and cleaning out these apartments, which we wind up getting anyhow. What if one of the guys gets hurt while trying to move this heavy piece of equipment that, all we told you to get rid of it?
no, I'm not saying we get rid of it, but I'm just saying, if they pull it out of their apartment and dump it out on the sidewalk, their son or their son-in-law's in and pulls out something and leaves it out there. It's like, all right, we're gonna arrange to have that taken care of, and we're gonna send you the bill.
Typically, I'll be honest with you, you're chasing your tail on that. Typically, the person has moved on, whether they've deceased or moved out, and you can't collect on it, the family's not responsible to pay you. So just by saying we can't do that, and they have been doing it for years, this was prior. That being said, we find stuff out there all the time, and you can't say where it came from. We don't
Right.
know. You can't really bill them.
This policy, though, would allow you to charge if the circumstances allowed you to charge. Just in that residents may be charged for repairs due to neglect, accident, or abuse. Charges for materials will be based on actual cost. So if you guys went out there and they had to pick something up and put it away, and let's say someone did just throw their mattress out, they bought a new one.
They do it. We
Yeah,
have it.
I mean, and you could. I don't think this prevents you from doing that.
No, it's just actually on the next page there, where it
Yeah,
says
it's
we
on
no
the old
longer
one.
are able to dispose of household items.
That was changed,
Right, so you can't just.
yeah.
By the way, $25, I'll come down.
Good to know. You want
No,
speed
I'll come
dial?
down with my stuff and
Oh,
drop it here.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I think this, yeah, this was removed prior to me coming here. I don't think there's a need to even address it truthfully.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just
You know,
all the
it's
stuff that's
the
like,
responsibility of the person, if they're getting new furniture, I mean, we're the ones disposing of it, we're trying to get the trash company to come and get it, and I don't think it should be part of the burden. I think it's a lot, I think it should be, I mean, you're a resident, where else do you go that they're gonna get anywhere rid of your stuff for you?
Yeah. There are services that will come to them.
Right, and if we know of any, we'll recommend, or we'll say, we think this person does it, and give them a couple of names. We have a salvage guy that's out in Attleboro, once in a while come out and grab stuff for us and charge us a fee for the truck or
That's
whatever.
what we do in Abington. We have a firm that will come pick stuff up and we give the information to the residents.
Yeah, so I just assume we're not endorsing that, we're just saying, hey, we think this guy does it.
Yeah.
Kathy, the parking policy on the next page,
Yep,
can you give me an example of a resident improperly parked?
I can't, I don't think that should even be on there. That was, first of all, you can't charge them.
I don't know how you enforce it.
Yeah, exactly. This was the old policy, that's the current one, that I didn't put it on what I wanted to address
Oh,
because I
so
don't.
this isn't gonna be on the new policy? And the pet cleanup, same thing?
Yeah, you can't, I don't even know how anybody ever was charged for that stuff, truthfully, I don't know if they ever were. I don't think the department would look favorably on that either. These were things that, I mean, this was adopted in 2005. So, you're talking a long time ago, Dawn, there's no way for us to charge a fee to people parking in the wrong spot. Sometimes people do it on accident, sometimes residents, you know, the guests do it by accident, sometimes they do it on purpose. You can't enforce it.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we hear it all the time. Parking is probably one of the biggest complaints we ever get. That's why we have the tow company that will respond. And that's why we put up those signs. They'll come out even for resident calls. If we're not here, that tow company will come out to tow a car. But you know, as soon as the people see that tow truck, they're outside moving that car.
So none of that page is gonna be on the new policy?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, are we good with proposed maintenance charge policies?
All set, thanks.
Good.
So are you looking for a motion
Yeah.
to approve?
Please.
Motion to approve with the amendments suggested by Mr. Sheedy, from shall to may, and the additions by Commissioner Christian Sheedy to the list.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tebow, a second by Commissioner Chris Anchidi. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 8, Executive Director's Report with the maintenance first quarter work order report. Is that, am I reading that
No,
right?
fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter?
Of 2023, yeah.
Fourth quarter maintenance report.
I put in, I know last time there was some discussion over what the report said, so we printed out all the different types of maintenance reports that we could give you. And it's not a big deal to even print out all of those quarterly, unless there's one in particular that you were looking for, or,
No, I mean, it looks good. The only thing I noted is, they're not capturing their hours. So it looks as, I mean, if you look at the report, it says that they're 40 hours worth of work orders for the quarter. Because lots of them are zero. They're amazing. They go in no time at all, and turn it around. So that might just be a data entry, training thing. They're gonna do it. You know, I see one that, there's a charge of $1,780, but there was 0 hours spent doing it.
yeah, well, it depends on, because then if you look at the actual work orders, it has start time, end times, so they are tracking them as they're doing them
It's not showing up over on the,
on this graph.
yeah. I just, I mean, I assumed that it was just data entry or how it's going together, but it wasn't capturing the,
Maybe on that report it doesn't,
Yeah.
unless there's something else I can put in, because you can see that all the hours are captured on this, yeah.
hours 000.
I found it
And there
very
was
time
some that have an
consuming.
hour down here.
Okay.
You have to refer to 3 different packages to get an answer to one question. You know, I
I'm
found it.
making you
I
work
found
for
it,
it,
you
Dawn.
know. No, you know, even the dates are confusing. You look at the very first page, it states from 10/1 to 12/31, and the first line item it starts with 6/16/23. So even the dates are confusing right from the beginning. And it's broken down, so you have to cross-reference between all 3 packages to find an answer to any one question. Then you look at the total hours of employee number 1, It comes to 2.25 or something like that for a total for a 2-month period, 2.75. Employee number 2, it comes to a total of 42.46. You know, and employee number 3, 40.67. So I mean, it's really very confusing. I don't know how someone can have 2 months of employment and only show 2.75 hours of work. I find that, you know, it just, I can appreciate the effort. It's just that, how do you come to any summary of any of this? You know, and in the first page, it's like Tom just mentioned, 0 hours all the way. But then you go to another page and there are hours listed. And then you go to the second, you know, yeah, it's just, I would need a week of going through this line item to line item to come up with an answer. It just seems like it could be, I don't know what program we're using, but, you know, most of this information probably could be put on 1 or 2 pages. You know, it just, you know, if you want to confuse somebody, you just muddy the water, and that's what this is doing, just muddying the waters. I mean, you cross-reference any one item, you know. And I had a question with, well, not so much a question, a little concern over this information technology. That's a new one on me.
That's computer, when
Yeah, and-
Derek's working on the computers.
Yeah, well, out of a total of 65 workdays, potential workdays in that period, 43 days was spent on information technology. Now, you know, I don't have a problem with information technology, but that's taken away from other maintenance chores also, you know, so that's a lot, you know.
Well, part of Derek's
That-
pay is to deal with the software and the website and update the computers.
And that's considered part of maintenance.
Hmm?
That's considered part of maintenance.
It is. It actually is classified on his L&I as that.
Because, you know, I just, I wasn't picking on any one individual, just trying to make sense of all of this, you know, 43 days was on information technology, 11 days was on property management, and 11 days were on maintenance. So that's, you know, I don't know, I just had a little, I had to highlight that, I just didn't know what was going on with that, so. Thank you.
I'll see if there's a better report that we can come up with or customize.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I came up with more questions than I did answers. Yeah, I really did. It just, if you take the time to look at any one line item and carry it across, and then even when you go to, you refer from the first package to the second package, and it starts to explain a little bit of the actual chore, what was done. The first package doesn't tell you what was done, it
Right.
has a general. The second package, it begins to tell you a little bit about what's done, but it's still not how much time was spent on that particular item. So very few places do you
Well,
find a place.
On that second one, it does have the times, if you look over. It has, on the very first one, like 1:30 in the afternoon, then it's at 3:30, it was completed.
Yeah, but then you carry it over to the next line, the total items, you know, total hours, or hours. You just
Do you use
pick any one, you just, I just see a whole bunch of zeros.
Yeah, that's I have to agree. I mean, I was hoping, I mean, I see what you're showing us, Kathy, but I was hoping this is sort of delving into it and it can be sharpened up a bit, because there are, you know, lots of places
I
where.
think that's just whatever reports out that we asked for, or, it's still a new software system to us too, and we've only done, this is only the second time we've done this on this particular system. So we can look into it and see what we can create. I see that the hours seem to be the main issue with it.
And
mean,
sometimes it's whether or not how they fill out the work order that you are inputting into the system. It's like, how it gets returned to
Yeah.
you, whether they actually
They do
wrote
it.
down. Yeah.
They do it on the iPads.
Yeah.
Maintenance
All
fill it
right,
on
so
their
that might be
iPad.
the thing, is that they're not filling out that particular point on the form on the iPad. They might be.
I don't know that they are, or we're not picking the correct reports, that's why I need to
Yeah, there's
delve
something.
into it a little bit more.
I'd say there's some training, I won't use the employee's name, one employee here has work orders 154, completed 144, in a total of 686 days. Next person is at 52.
Yep.
So they're doing, and then the next person is 27.
That is very possible, because the guys have a way that they work, and this is what works with this current team. One tends to handle all the work orders that come in during the day. One handles the groundwork, one handles the vacancies, because that's all what they're good at. So yes, that is probably very accurate with the work orders.
So, and this is for HLC, you're supposed to be creating work orders for that groundwork, you're supposed to be creating work orders
Yes.
for the, so it should
He
be.
does, but that would be under regular maintenance or deferred maintenance, which might not be repairing, because this is work orders.
Okay.
That's a different,
All right.
they put in,
I'm not gonna get into it.
yeah, I mean, rest assured, these guys are working, I can tell you
Oh,
that.
I think Dawn said it, so I don't
Yeah.
know, you provided this to show us something, and I would agree with Dawn, after looking at it, I thought, well, I don't know what it says.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what you want to see with the maintenance report quarterly.
Well, the number one thing would be, work orders open, work orders closed. That would be me.
Okay.
How many work orders are. And you can break them down into whatever kind you want, emergency, non-emergency inspection. I see that here, it just didn't.
Yeah, the inspections, those are captured, they won't be captured again until next year, inspection work orders. Okay,
But yeah, like Tom
Yeah.
was saying, I think you are supposed to have work orders for every single thing that they do. And
They
that
do.
should be reflected in, so whether they're mowing the grass or they're,
right, but it might
Shoveling.
be different, we might have requested just work orders, not deferred or not routine.
but it shouldn't be deferred.
Some of it's routine though, and it wouldn't be on the work, it would be a different category.
Routine would only be really like cleaning. I mean, like if
Yeah,
you've got a
cleaning,
snow
mowing
event,
lawn.
you're supposed to be putting in, yeah, they did snow removal for 8 hours. And that would be a regular work order, it shouldn't be deferred, shouldn't be routine, so, I don't know.
Right, but lawn mowing, things like that they do on a regular basis. Picking up leaves, that would
But
be
yeah, that's not
routine.
even technically
Janitorial.
routine,
Yeah,
because you only do lawns and during the summer, you only do leaves in the fall, like, yeah.
I can tell you when they come up with the PMI,
Splitting
they haven't
hairs.
had any issues with us, and as a matter of fact, I think they've even recommended other agencies come to us to see how we do it.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not
Yeah.
doing their work, I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
No, but I'm saying as far as reporting and the PMI goes, they've always been very happy with us.
and it's, yeah, it's just the whole PHA web thing, it's getting used to that system.
Yep. So I'll see what other reporting is in there that I can provide.
Sounds good. And I like on your director's report, the first line is incredible.
Yeah, there are no vacancies, wonderful.
Oh, we had one that came in.
Yeah, but I mean.
But it's already
when-
off and
But
it'll
your
be
your
released at the
list
end of the
for
month.
the
I
longest
know.
time was very, very long, and,
Yep.
you know, units open for extended times, and,
Well, once they changed that whole priority with us finally getting some locals, that's when everything changed. So, thank God.
Yeah, but it was the housing authorities that were doing it all wrong.
I know.
And it shows in your rent collections too, you topped $100,000 for the first time I've ever seen.
Yep. That just means less subsidy.
What's that?
That just means less subsidy.
Yeah, I know, it's a balance, but.
We may have to file a revision, who knows, I don't know.
And when we're talking a little bit about the change in the staffing,
Yes.
the part-time hours, what's gonna be is it gonna be, what's current part-time and what's, is it gonna stay?
Current part-time's 18 typically. This will be probably 12. And I think it should be okay. I believe so.
Okay. And rate of pay and all that's gonna be,
We'll have to come up on a new budget, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna sit down with Dan, and we've actually talked to him about this yesterday, and go over it.
okay.
It should be 30 years in April.
Good for her.
It is good for her.
Yeah.
She has put in her time and
It
effort,
certainly has.
and she's done it very nicely, and very
Yeah.
well,
And she'll still be here, which is huge.
until that little baby starts to, you know.
Well, she's got him Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. She'll be coming here to relax.
Well, prior to my being on the board, I had dealings with the Easton Housing Authority quite a few times, and I dealt with Dawn on a regular basis, and I always found her professional. I found her professional dealing with her as a colleague from the next housing authority over, and obviously I've found her very professional and accommodating as a board member, so we'll miss her stability. She's been there longer than you, she was there.
Anybody, longer than anybody.
Sort of the core of the
I don't even know if there are any residents who live in here as long as she has. But she will still be around, thank God.
That's good.
Yeah, because a lot of residents really just gravitate towards her. They're just used to it. And she's very accommodating.
She gets huge kudos for 30 years in this
I
position.
know.
Anything else in regards to the executive director's report? If not, I would accept a motion to accept and put on file.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 9, questions and concerns. Barbara?
Yeah. First off, I wanted to say that I find that I'm the only one that comes here on a regular basis, me and Valerie and 3 at the other table. And in order to get people interested in what's going on here, I call a few people every once in a while and ask them if there's anything that they want me to talk about. Not many people have anything they want to talk about. I called a person that I usually, when I was in another community, people on the board would not want to bring up something that might be controversial, so they asked someone in the audience to do it. And so that's why I asked if there was anything that needed to be brought up. But that's okay. One of the things that I've got a complaint about is the entrance into the park. There used to be a light there, streets, I don't know, a light, but anyway, it's not working. It's supposed to work by the sun turning it on. It's not working. People want that changed. The other
What, can I just ask Barbara, what do you mean by the entrance to the park?
The entrance on Park, into Park Terrace.
Into park, out here?
Yes,
Oh, this summer we put a solar light on the sign.
right, but it's not working. People don't see it.
The Lee Circle isn't working either.
Maybe it's not getting enough sunlight. If there's
Yeah,
solar,
they
there's
burn
no
out quick,
electricity.
too.
Huh?
Whatever
They
is
burn out
causing
quick,
it,
too.
the
Oh,
people
do they?
can't
We'll get
see
you one.
it, so it's not
They
really
just solar
useful.
lights, so whenever, we just put them in the summer. Okay.
The second thing is, the telephone bolos that they give out. Dan called, and I received the call about the cards and the storm, et cetera, that they took. The next one came from Dawn's telephone, and I got the call, got a completely blank message. So I don't know what causes that. I don't know if you can
We don't
fix
know
it
either what
up.
caused that. We do the robocalling, it's a system outside of us. We don't know what happened with
It's
that.
not connected with the phone Dan is on? Are they the same system?
It's all the same system.
I don't understand why
Mhm.
it will come
We call
on.
into account, it's a long process, it's hard to detail what happens. We call in the message and we send it. For whatever reason, when it went out, one of the times it was blank, so they resent it.
Okay. All right, I just wanted to let you know that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And the, thing on key locks. There are quite a few people here that forget their key when they go out. It happened to me once. Cost me money to pay because they had to call Joe in from, it was a weekend. I know many people here that get locked out of their house and call the fire department, and the firemen very politely come up and unlock their door for them. Doesn't cost them anything.
We haven't heard that from the fire department, I'm surprised that they do that.
Well, they don't, I shouldn't speak for them, but most firemen I know wouldn't say anything, they just do.
That's fine.
So, that's a thing that if the word gets around, you won't get many calls because they'll just call the fire department.
That's okay, the guys enjoy having their time off.
I know. I don't think they call with their time off, I think they're on duty, but anyway.
You're the fireman, but what we suggest for most people is that you have a friend or a family member hold another key for you.
Right, I understand that. I have an extra one set someplace so that you know, I understand all the tricks to having an extra thing.
And at some point, the fire department, if they're getting too many calls, we may get notified about it, and they may decide it's not gonna continue.
I don't know, the guys here are pretty nice, they'll do anything for us, actually.
Generally, they are, yes, but when
Yeah.
abuses start to happen, sometimes they get concerned.
I wanted to say that the girl that came to take over the activities section is not under anybody here, I don't think. She comes from Old Colony, yeah. But she is really doing a superb job, and I want it to be noted that she's come up with many things for people to have activities. And
Do you know her name?
Elizabeth, I don't know her last name.
Sad,
What is it?
Sad.
S-A-A-D?
sad.
S-A-A-D, she's excellent.
She is.
Absolutely excellent.
Great.
And she in fact had someplace to go today and come over and set up the exercise thing for us before she left to make sure it was going okay. She's really good and deserves the compliment, I'm sure.
Excellent.
I don't know what else, nobody told me anything, no complaints this week.
No.
They're all worried about the snow and, you know.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good
But,
thing.
last month, people came because they thought there was gonna be an event go on here. But it got kind of solved by you people and the person left and it suddenly was very quiet. So hopefully we'll have something to get them excited about so that more people will come to the meeting. I really wish that they would. I was involved, but it was different than here. We got a copy of everything that you got. And if we had questions, you know, like John's having a question about a certain thing, somebody else might see that in the park also. You know, it's just different. I find it very difficult to come over here and it's a joke sometimes that I'm sitting here. And that's okay, but I really think that people should have a voice. And I'm trying very hard to have them bring that up, but they don't seem to be interested right now. So, thank you for your time.
We appreciate your voice, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara. Any other questions or concerns?
I just was regarding the resident service coordinator, she's through Old Colony, has she
Yes.
been here for a while now?
Not that long, 2 months.
No, just.
I don't know if we can give her any kind of recognition to her
We have MAT
agency?
meetings once a month with our supervisor, and, yeah, I have already addressed that. Actually,
good.
the supervisor, Elizabeth Weiner, is her
Yeah.
supervisor over there.
Because if anything, if she can be retained, that would be awesome.
Yeah, she.
But we know
I
how
think
that all
She
goes,
seems like she really enjoys the job too.
so that's
Yeah.
great.
I wanted to know who pays the salaries of the workers here?
The housing authority,
The housing authority. None of it comes from the state.
no.
Interesting.
It's basically off of the rents that you pay.
Right.
I mean, if there's excessive costs that we can't cover, then you get subsidy from the state. But if we're be able to maintain our own budget with our own revenue, we don't get subsidy.
So the three things that they approved for this park, the sidewalks, the siding.
Those are big modernization projects. That's
But are
completely
they-
different than
Are
salaries.
they, okay, so they're not the responsibility of the park, they're the responsibility of the state.
The state often helps the predominance of those projects. Sometimes we kick in some money if needed or required, but the majority of that money is state money, yes.
Okay.
We wouldn't have the funds ourselves to do those projects if the state did kick in because of the cost of them, and we have to pay prevailing wage, and there are certain guidelines. There's no way with prevailing wage rates and the cost of materials that the authority could absorb that cost themselves.
So if you approve a project that you want to do here, you approve it to the amount at all, right? Then you send it to the state?
They have to approve our plan. That's the capital plan. We start addressing that in September
Right.
through the capital plan, and it's based on 5 years of money, predictable money that the state is going to give us, and that's how we try to tailor the plan to best use those funds.
And there's lots of estimates that are built into that plan, capital
Right.
improvement plan.
Right.
Big capital jobs of modernization and improvement. That money that's allocated to this authority has to be projected forward, and you have to be able to estimate how much those jobs are gonna cost, but
And the longer it waits, the higher the price goes.
very much, very true.
Like the paving on the sidewalks and on the street.
You never know. You start the job and it's gonna be an $80,000 job, and then there's a change order and it's
It's
$150,000.
very disheartening for the people here to listen to that, you understand?
Things are happening, so everybody, especially Kathy, doing the best she can with it.
I
It's a process.
understand, but it's still disheartening, because it's been going on, I've been here 2.5 years, and it was approved my first year here, I think. So, yeah.
It's a 5-year plan, so we're running out of years, Barbara. We gotta get there soon.
If I may, as a resident, I've had several people express their concern with both Parker Terrace and Elise Circle. There used to be phones, emergency phones hanging on the wall, so on the weekend, because not everyone in here has cell phones, and they were wondering, both places had it, and they're gone now, and they was wondering if there was a reason why the phones aren't hanging on the wall, an emergency phone.
You can't just get an emergency phone, and we were getting hit with charges. People were coming in and using the phones for whatever reason. In today's day and age, this was something that we did away with quite a few years back.
Can they get a phone with it? You have to put in a certain code before you can use it?
Oh, I don't know, and this, I mean, I don't know. people
There are
that
several
have-
residents that are concerned that there isn't an emergency phone on the weekends that they can use. If they're coming over doing
In the
laundry and they
community room?
happen to have an emergency while they're here, they don't have a phone, at least if they had access to a phone in here. There used to be one on this wall, and the same thing over to Elise Circle. And I've had several residents concerned about that, and wondering if it's possible that we could put in emergency phone lines, at least for use during the weekends, or off hours even, you know.
I think like there used to be pay phones and the monthly cost of those is just, for the use they got was the deterrent there. I know in another authority, they had a phone in the lobby, but I'm not sure how that worked.
Would the
It
firemen
was for
have it?
emergencies only,
I
but
mean,
Would the
it wasn't,
firemen have any
wasn't a
insight?
payphone.
predominantly people have cell phones, even if you have no money.
But
they'll
we
have
do
a
have,
cell
we do
phone.
have some people who don't have cell phones, and I don't know how you put a dollar amount on an emergency.
Would the
I don't know how you
firemen
do
have
that.
any insight as to some kind of communication with them?
I don't, I'm not familiar with what an emergency phone is. I've never seen one. I don't know how it worked here, but I guess we could look into it and see if there is something. But good question, Barbara, and I've been doing this a long time. I don't know, I'm not familiar with it.
The
I
other
don't- What was
thing
here
is
before?
this
Was it just a
place-
There was a
regular?
phone on the wall and somebody was.
It was there for
coming in and
emergencies.
doing
No, no,
long
but forget about what they were
distance,
doing. I mean,
Yeah.
was it just a regular
Yeah, it's just a-
583-7917
I don't even, yeah,
phone
yeah.
number and anybody?
It
can
was
call?
like $80-something a month for the phone out here. At least, I don't think that phone was even working. I
No,
believe.
but I'm not,
Yeah.
it's just saying, so what it was just a regular like
Regular
phone like
landline.
you'd have
Landline.
in your apartment.
We used to have
And you could,
phones.
anybody
I'm
could come
thinking
in
the
and
payphones,
use
we used
the
to have
phone.
payphones.
Yeah, no payphones. No, it was just a regular landline.
Landline.
Even if they had some kind of a communication between that line and somebody that lives here?
You might be able to call the phone company and just see if there's such a
They
thing.
won't do it for, yeah, at least when we redid it, I don't know if they even put phone lines in up there. I don't know. Here, I don't even know if
You-
that jack works.
Yeah.
You mentioned $87. I mean, the way money flows out of here, you know, if that prevents, or if that saves someone's life in an emergency, isn't that money well spent?
I just don't, personally, I don't know community rooms that have
I mean,
phones in them.
if it's a big
Housing
enough
covers.
emergency, you should be able to just pull the pull station.
There aren't pole stations anymore. I don't think this building even had them.
Should.
There are some alternatives to a telephone.
Yeah, like an
They're-
emergency pull cord too. I know
They're,
there's one in the bathroom in there.
Yeah,
No,
the
there-
bathroom.
there are
Do they have a
lifelines
phone
and
here?
Obama phones and so on and so forth.
But that's what I'm saying, with Mass Health and all that, people, anybody can get access to a phone, and if somebody needs a phone, I'm sure Elizabeth could help them get one.
Do they have an emergency pull here?
In the bathroom.
Bathrooms.
But
But that's just local.
God
That's
help them
local.
if they
Yeah.
collapse in the laundry room.
And a lot of times people.
That
ignore
just
those
rings a
calls.
bell.
Anyhow,
Not gonna do you no good if you're the only one here.
I can look into that.
Isn't there a fire alarm pole anywhere here?
I would ask
No.
your
That's what
resident
I'm saying.
service coordinator to see if there's any service that they know of that they could input in here. Again, I'm with you, Dawn, with you, Barbara, I don't know of any, other than with just a regular phone, which can cause problems, but ask the resident service coordinator if they know of any emergency service that we could install here that could be accessed by the residents.
The other thing is, do you have I forget what you call it now, you put it, hang it on a wall, if a person collapses, you go to that?
Defibrillator?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, do you have
Um,
anything like that here?
no, we'd have to be trained on that. I don't know that's what the fire department's for. I'm totally against those in a setting like this. That's what you have the fire department for. I would not expect staff to get trained on something like that.
And that's the point, notifying the fire department, there's no phone here.
Right,
Somebody inevitably always has a phone. Val's here all the time, we're here
Well,
all.
it's.
I mean, everybody has cell phones now. Even if you don't have money, you can have a cell phone. I will look into it though,
I know several residents in here that do not have cell phones, so.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just not a money thing. It's just they don't want to be bothered
Right.
with it. They don't.
Or if you get an Obama phone and you don't use it for a month, it's gone.
Yeah.
So I mean, there people don't have phones for different reasons. But again,
Can we at least look into the options
Yeah,
of
I said
bringing a
that, I
phone in?
said I'd look
Yeah.
into that.
I think we-
I don't know. Maybe they can even if it was the emergency pull cord was run more out here, it's only gonna sound it locally, but if somebody's paying
Yeah,
attention.
somebody will look at it, I'll look into the phone.
Yeah.
I think a gold code would just be, people ignore them.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions or concerns? Before we accept the motion to adjourn, I do have a couple housekeeping items. I would remind the board that we're scheduled to meet with the select board on January 22nd. To my knowledge, there are 2 candidates to replace Commissioner Widdop. There may be more, I don't know, but as of now, there are 2. And February 13th meeting, we are expecting representatives from the planning board to be here to present MBTA communities to us. So those 2 things. So the February 13th meeting hopefully is okay with everyone, because I have
What kind of committee did you say?
planning department for the town of Easton for MBTA communities.
The Board of Selectmen meeting, do you know what time? 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock?
I will find out tomorrow and send that out. I believe it's a 7 o'clock meeting, but I'm not positive.
And the 13th is on the February meeting.
Yep.
And that meeting is here?
That
13th?
meeting, the 13th
Michelle
is here.
coming on
Yep, they're
13th?
coming to us.
I was planning, but if this is gonna be lengthy, I can put it off to March. It's not, I mean, nothing is earth-shattering, you can wait until March for that.
Okay.
We just need to make sure that the planning board is an agenda item.
You want them first?
Yeah, yeah. Don't make them sit around for.
Yep.
All right, now I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Nobody ever opposes that, it's unanimous. We used to have payphones in all our law.